Hey everyone, it's me, Mr. Mario here. Anyways, I have just been thinking about this for the past 5 minutes. For some reason, all these random ideas ran through my head. They all seem logical to this, and I know this type of video has been done to death, but I want to put my opinion out there because I love the 360. You know, there are a bunch of bad things with it, and I said in another video, I said in another video that I honestly think all the game systems of this generation suck in their own way, but I like the 360 most. Honestly, I've just become most attached to that system out of all of them. So, for Microsoft's next system, the supposed 720, that's been the name of it for years. There's been speculation of what's being made, what's going to come out, what's going to be added, what's going to be dropped. And I'm going to voice my opinion on a few things that Microsoft needs to implement or get rid of on their systems. The first thing that comes to mind, achievements, they have to be kept in. There are people for example, achievements have become a big thing on the 360, whether you care about your gamer score or not. We wouldn't have people like Stallion83 trying to get a million gamer score, and we wouldn't have as many people hacking up their gamer score either. But when we went from the Xbox to the Xbox 360, Microsoft dropped the Xbox Live Arcade from the original system, which meant if you bought anything, if you spent money and bought stuff on the original Xbox Live Arcade, there was no way you could play that on your 360 unless you played it on your original Xbox, which a few years ago they ended up disconnecting. Well, they canceled the original Xbox Live service for original Xboxes. So any money you spent on the original Xbox years ago on Xbox Live Arcade, that's just money down the drain. Everything you bought on the 360 should transfer over to the next system. Your achievements, your downloadable content, all that stuff. That also kind of leads into my next point. Backwards compatibility. The Wii can play every GameCube game. The PS3 can play every PS1 game. Only some systems can play PS2 games. There is a reason. The reason why they stopped is because these systems at the beginning, they had the PS2's emotion chip, I believe. They had PS2 hardware built in next to the PS3 hardware, and it was pretty pricey. So that's why they did software emulation, and software emulation kind of sucked. So they just dropped it as a whole. But the PS2 played all PS1 games perfectly. Microsoft, you need to integrate full 360 backwards compatibility into your next system. No exceptions on that. When I buy the next Xbox, I want to play all my 360 games on there. I don't want to keep my 360. I probably still will have one or two 360s, but I don't want to keep them around just because I have 4 or 5 games that I can't play on my 720. I'll call it that. That I can't play on that. Like my original Xbox, I barely ever play it, but there are some games that I own, and if I do want to play them, I have to dust off my original Xbox and play them. And original Xbox support was dropped a long time ago, and the systems aren't really hard to find, but it's hard to find perfectly working ones. So there are several games that are just completely locked away. And Microsoft on their 360 has this half-assed backwards compatibility system. If you don't already know, there are several games that do work, but maybe half of them have their own bugs and such, and there are several incredible games that do not work on the system. And they haven't updated backwards compatibility in years, and they're not going to for the rest of the 360's lifespan. So when the next generation of Xbox comes out, there needs to be full 360 backwards compatibility. I want to play every 360 game on my next system. One other thing that I have joked around about many times, but I'm serious about it at the same time, is this isn't a deal breaker, but for the love of God, put a internet browser on your system. Phones have internet browsers. iPods have internet browsers. The Wii and the PS3 have internet browsers. The Vita, the 3DS, they all have internet browsers. I don't like Internet Explorer, but Microsoft, you guys made Internet Explorer, and you guys made the 360. Can you connect the dots right there? Why doesn't the 360 have a internet browser? Tell me that. Now, last generation it was okay because the PS2 didn't have one, unless you threw on like Linux or something, and the GameCube, who even connected that to the internet is what I want to know. Aside from the people who were using the internet adapter to dump their GameCube games into ISOs, it just wasn't a popular thing. But that's really just one thing. Just for the love of God, Microsoft, please put a internet browser on your system. It shouldn't be too hard to do. I don't, I'm still new to coding and all that, but if you've been able to keep updating and putting out versions of Internet Explorer, you can surely port it over to your next Xbox. You can port it over to this Xbox if you want to. One other thing that I was thinking of, and it's because I'm transferring a bunch of stuff from an old hard drive right now, because my first hard drive crashed, kind of, so I'm recovering all my data off it right now. Microsoft, you need USB 3.0 support. It's still kind of new, but it's getting out there, so it's definitely possible to put in your Xbox. The reason why I say that is because right now oh my god, it's been like about 2.5 hours, and I have been transferring 35 gigabytes of data from one hard drive to the other, and less than half of it is done. And that's why I'm saying USB 3.0 would be excellent. But more importantly, what I want is the feature to take any hard drive and just plug it into my Xbox, hit format, and be good to go. With the 360, you can't do that. The only way you can do that is if you have HDD Hacker and you have the security sector file from a hard drive. And in that case, you can only go up to 320 gigabytes. That's the only way you can make your own custom hard drive, I guess you can say. The PS3, hell, you can take a 1 terabyte hard drive and hook it up in there, hit format, and you'll be good to go. You have a 1 terabyte PS3 right off the bat. The Wii doesn't have a hard drive, so we're not even going to talk about that. But Microsoft, that I understand it is for security reasons, but if the PS3 has that feature, the next Xbox can have that feature. Now I understand that, you guys won't make as much money off hard drives and such, but you all can release a type of kit, so to speak. Say, this one, just put something up on there that, soccer moms will believe. Say, this one is endorsed and it's official, and it's made by Microsoft and it's guaranteed to work and all this other stuff, kind of like the flash drives you guys do. How you can hook up any flash drive to your 360, but you guys sell your own flash drives that are branded with the Xbox 360 logo, and sometimes you throw in some free DLC, a free game here and there on that. You guys can do that with the Xbox as well. But I would really like the feature to just take any hard drive and hook it up in there and format it. It can be a 20 gigabyte hard drive to a 2 terabyte hard drive. Just let me have that feature and I'd be pretty happy. Those are just a few things I really have. I mean, I can go into other stuff, like I could say, don't screw up with this system, don't let it red light on me, but I'm not going to point out the faults or anything. I'm just saying this is what should be added into the next reiteration of the Xbox. And if they don't put this stuff in, now it's not like I'm trying to say, yeah, just give me 20 free games with it. No, I think it's perfectly reasonable stuff that they can add in. And I said at the beginning of this video, I'll talk about things they should put in and things they should not do and things they shouldn't take out. One thing, the main thing is don't remove a disk drive. There are still people like me who will buy a physical copy of something. And this is more of an industry thing, so Microsoft can't stop it. But it would be really nice to do away with online passes. That would be a lot to ask for, just because, as I said, it's happening on the PC, the PS3, and the 360. But, if they could do that, that would be great. And, as I said, that request I don't think is reasonable, because I doubt it will happen anytime soon. But don't cut off the supply of used games. Don't cut out that market. And keep a disk drive in your system. I think all the other ones are okay. So, I know Microsoft's not going to be watching this video, even though I was, saying Microsoft do this, Microsoft do that. But I'm saying this is my opinion on what should be done to the next generation of the 360, of the Xbox, and I think these are perfectly reasonable. And just the main thing I want to see is all of my 360 games working on my next system. If I'm going to drop $400 or $500 on the next Xbox in a few years, I want to make sure my entire 360 library will work on that new system. And even if they could get all the original Xbox games to run on there, that would be nice too. Now, although it might be old, as I said, the PS3 plays all the PS1 games. And I don't know if they're going to do some middleman thing where it'd be stupid if they make it so if they do a Sony thing. This is what I'm trying to say. If you have to have the 360 to play 360 games, but the next generation will play all the original games fine. That's just something you shouldn't do. I like having everything on one system, okay? I do have my original Xbox, but I do play Xbox games on my Xbox 360. Because I like having wireless controllers, I like having the setup there, I like having all my saves just set up on that drive. Everything's just there for me. So I'm cutting off this video now, but those are just my thoughts and opinions on what I think should and should not be done on the next generation of the Xbox. Any more opinions, any more ideas, drop them down below. I'd love to see what people think. Thanks for watching.